As a young girl growing up in the country, I spent untold hours looking for four-leaf clovers in the clover patch. Curious bumblebees would buzz by and check me out and see what I was up to. They'd hover for a while, and then they would just continue on about their business of being. So the other day, my partner, who happens to be Buddhist, at least in part, was telling me about how bumblebees, maybe bees in general, but bees are sometimes looked at as reincarnated masters who chose to come to the physical plane, again, as a bee, which is a short lifespan with very little commitment as far as responsibilities, yet they can be on this plane and be in observance of what is occurring. I found the story my partner told me interesting, and I kept it in my mind. And so my boss, who also happened to be Buddhist, we were walking into the door of our office one day, and this bumblebee started following us in. And I said, oh, well, we better let it in. It could be an ascended master. And I asked him if he had ever heard that story or heard that line of thinking before. And he said that yes, he actually had, and that sometimes he would meditate for really long periods of time outside, and bumblebees would come and just sit with him for really long periods of time, kind of being with him. Obviously, the stories are based on some sort of common experience, but maybe the bees are just curious. But either way, who wants to take any chances, right? So I shouldn't be surprised that the same day, the very same day that my boss and I had this discussion, only a few days after my partner had told me the story to begin with, I come home and I look down on the sidewalk as I'm coming in, and I see this bumblebee, and he's covered up with ants, and he's still moving, and it looks like a pretty dire situation for him. Of course, I had this bee thing in my mind, so I went and grabbed a flower petal, a rose petal actually, of some roses that I had that happened to be dying. And I scooped him up. I got the mean old ants off of him. When I looked down at him, I just thought to myself, no way are you going to die like this. No way can I let a potential ascended master die in this way. So I brought him in, him, her, I wasn't sure. Who's ever sex to be, you know? Besides an entomologist, maybe. So I bring this bee in, and I begin to set up a space for him. And I set up this really reverent, peaceful, beautiful space for him to die in. And it took him several hours, actually, to ascend again. But in the meantime, I felt like that he knew what was happening. Chance to die with some dignity. Doesn't every being deserve such respect? Either that or I totally messed up his karma, and he's gonna have to come back again and have an agonizing death. I'm never sure about these things. Whatever we do, just be aware, be conscious, and whatever you do, as often as possible, lay in the grass, look for four-leaf clovers, look at the clouds, for shapes. Let your mind go. Let your spirit be free. Be in harmony with nature. Take care of each other. Be.